Hello everyone, today's video is going to be another video without Carson. Sorry to disappoint you, but I'm just going to do an updated how to pack for 4 months in just a carry-on bag video because you guys seemed to like the last one, and now we've been traveling for over a month in our bags, so I thought I'd update you on some of the things that we've learned. We're also going to include some things that we brought that we wish we didn't bring and some things that we didn't bring that we wish we did bring. So this video kind of serves as like a trial and error that we went through, so you guys hopefully won't have to go through if you're planning on bringing only carry-on and transitioning to a one bag lifestyle like we did. Alright, so like my last video, I'm going to talk about 3 different bags, and I'm going to start with the smallest one first. So we've got my fanny pack, we've got my collapsible backpack, and we've got our big carry-on bag where everything is stored. So without further ado, we're going to get right into the video. The first bag we're going to be talking about is the fanny pack. So this is the only bag that doesn't actually fit inside of the carry-on. When we're traveling, I wear this bag around my waist. You can see from the bag that it's gone through a little bit of wear and tear since we've been traveling, but it's held up really well. This bag is from Lululemon. It is $48 and it's in the color teal, I believe. The bag has adjustable straps, so you can adjust it to wear it around your waist as a fanny pack or around your chest as a crossbody. It's also got my little Bath & Body Works hand sanitizer holder with my travel hand sanitizer. So starting off with the outside of the bag, obviously the hand sanitizer holder has come in really handy. I highly recommend this if you're traveling, especially during COVID. Having the hand sanitizer on the fanny pack, which we brought with us every day, was a really great way to make sure that we were clean and our hands were sanitized and we weren't bringing back any germs from outside, not just in relation to COVID, but germs that we aren't exposed to because we're traveling to a different country. And Chris and I haven't been sick this entire time we've been traveling. Obviously, knock on wood a little bit, but we haven't been sick the entire time that we've been traveling. So the hand sanitizer played a big role in that. The bag itself has 2 outside pockets. So the first pocket, like I said in my last video, is very small, and when it's tucked up against your body you can't see it at all. On the inside of the bag you've got the big mesh compartment, 2 smaller mesh compartments, and then just the general area inside the bag. So I talked about all of this in my last video, so I'm just going to go with things that we learned. The first thing that we learned was that Carson and I have never felt unsafe in terms of pickpocketing in any of the places we went, including Rome, including Amsterdam. So I thought we'd be carrying all of our valuables, passport, money, credit cards, that kind of thing, all in this inside pocket. But the pocket, especially when the fanny pack is full, is really pressed up against you, so it's hard to go in and out of the pocket when you're paying for things as you go about your day. So we actually kept our passports and our wallet and our credit cards for the majority of the time in this big pocket. Like I said, we never felt unsafe, so that was just kind of what we did. I kept my lip balm and I kept my headphones in these inside pockets as well. We'd keep our phones and like a portable charger as we went about our day. But none of the things we put in here was really because we felt unsafe. It was just because this was the most convenient bag for us to bring. I could not recommend this fanny pack more. I will continue to wear it when we get home. It's the best bag that I have by far, and it is worth every penny. The next bag I'm going to be talking about is my Eddie Bauer 20-liter stowaway backpack. I got this bag for Christmas from my dad, and it folds up into a pocket. The pocket is right here, so it's easily condensed as you're traveling. It also lays flat, so sometimes I just lay it out flat in my bag, sometimes I fold it up into its little cube. This backpack is pretty big, but it stows away very small, and it has come in handy for day trips, especially. We brought it recently to Ischia, we brought it to Rome, we brought it to Pisa, and we brought it to Pompeii. So it's got this inside pocket, it's got this pocket like I showed you, and then on the inside it has a compartment here that's attached with Velcro, and then just the main inside. You can pack a lot of stuff into here is what we realized. We've packed change of clothes, we've packed towels, we've packed our swimsuits. It's water resistant, so with our swimsuits in the bag, it didn't get everything else wet and it didn't leak onto our backs. It's got a little bit of padding, but not much, because like I said, it folds up really small. I highly recommend bringing a collapsible backpack with you if you're traveling out of one bag, because you don't want to be lugging that bag around with you when you're going on day trips, or if you have a lot of stuff you want to bring with you for the day. So I highly recommend bringing one of these collapsible bags because they are great and they save space and they'll just be a lifesaver when you are settling in and you don't want to bring that big bag with you. I will link all of the bags in the description down below. This bag I highly recommend for quality and for price. So now I'm going to do a quick update and review of some other things that we have loved on our trip in terms of organization. The first one being my cable organizer from Amazon. It has 2 pockets. The first pocket looks like this. When it's filled, obviously it's empty right now because we are moved into Naples, but when it's filled, I have my headphones. I have the headphone jack adapter, and then I have the USB-C to headphone jack adapter. I keep my lightning iPhone charger, and then I keep my headphones that have the lightning adapter on it. I keep a USB-C to USB and a lightning to USB-C cable here. I keep the clicker for my tripod here, and my USB-C to USB port adapter thing. The next pocket, I keep the microfiber cloth to clean my electronics, and I keep the SIM card remover. The SIM card remover is something that I brought thinking that we were going to remove our SIM cards so we wouldn't get charged roaming fees. We didn't actually end up doing this. We ended up just turning airplane mode on, turning our roaming and our data off, and only communicating through Wi-Fi, and it has been fine for us. So I brought this just in case, and it is small, so maybe you'd want to bring it just in case as well. But it is unnecessary to remove your SIM card, and that kind of adds another level of stress if you take your SIM card out. So I would maybe bring it just in case, but we didn't end up using it. The last compartment on this side is where I keep my USB-C MacBook charger and the MacBook box charger thing. The next is the passport holder. We love our passport holders. Carson got one as well. In it, I keep the boarding passes, which I had the boarding passes stored in my Apple Wallet, but when we got to the airport on the Calgary side, they did our COVID checks and printed us off a boarding pass that had like a check mark on it to say that they've checked our vaccine or our negative tests. So they gave us a paper copy of our boarding pass, which I put in here. I have my passport in this little pocket here. On this side, nothing much has changed since my last video, but I keep my travel cards like my Air Miles rewards card, and then I keep copies of my important documents, my birth certificate, my Alberta Health, my SIN, and my COVID information. So these are just copies. I keep the original somewhere else in my bag in case I were to lose this. I can use my birth certificate and all of that at the embassy to try to get a new passport. The last little organizational tool we have is my wallet. I got this wallet from my mom for Christmas a few years ago and haven't really used it until now. In it, I keep my Stack card, which is a reloadable Visa debit card, which is really great when you're traveling because it's preloaded, so it only has a set amount of money on it and you don't get charged the 2.5% international transaction fee. I also keep my Canadian credit card and debit card. In the big pocket, we keep our cash and we keep our change in here. We're very happy that we got cash out. We got about 300 euros out when we were in Canada, and we have used about 100 of them so far. A lot of places here, like street vendors and such, don't take credit card, so it was really nice to have cash with us, and Carson carries around about 30 euros a day in addition to our cards. And then we have our microfiber towels. We love our microfiber towels. We brought them to Ischia and used them as beach towels. They didn't collect sand and they didn't collect water. They dried very quickly and they fold up into cute little compartments. I have this blue one. It's the extra large size. It's 180 by 90 centimeters, and Carson got this green one. His is a bit smaller, but it doesn't say how big it is. Both of these sizes are fine. I'm pretty sure his was large and I got extra large. Mine is huge, and Carson's is like an average towel size. We love them. Like I said, they didn't pick up sand, they didn't pick up water, they're just all around great. What I've learned about toiletry products is that when you're traveling, it's really good to get highly concentrated products so you use less. For instance, this is my face wash I use at home. This is my face wash I use at home. It's the CosRx salicylic acid daily face wash. And I only use a tiny bit because it's so concentrated and it foams up when you expose it to water. So this will last me more than the 4 months for sure. It's already been a month and you can barely tell that I've used any of it. Same with my purple shampoo. It's very concentrated. I add a little bit of it to my conditioner and it keeps my hair blonde because I do dye my hair. And then I also decided that out of all of my hair and skincare products, I really wanted to bring my good conditioner, because again, my hair is chemically treated. So I brought my good conditioner. It's highly concentrated. I only use a little bit and I only alternate between a different conditioner. So it was more than enough. The biggest tip I can say is bring concentrated products when you're traveling, because you can only bring 100 milliliters each of toiletries through the security when you're traveling with just carry-on. So it's super important to make sure you have the correct sizes, and they can only fit into a 1 liter bag. So liquids, bring concentrated liquids. TSA doesn't let you bring a lot through. That is that. And lastly, the moment you have all been waiting for, the official bag review. This is our bag. This is how it's holding up. We've added on our little Canada flag luggage tags that Carson's mom got us, and Carson has a little Canada pin on his bag as well. Little review of the bag. Since filming the last video, we noticed that you have these little tags here that you can hang things from. For example, we're hanging our luggage tag from there. We've got the top pocket on the inside, we've got inside pocket, and we've got bottom pocket with compression straps, and then you've got the laptop holder. So that's just a very brief overview of the bag. Now getting into things that we've learned. So we use these packing cubes to store our clothes. I have a packing cube for the tops and I have a packing cube for bottoms, and these have really come in handy, especially when you're living out of one carry-on sized bag. It's really important to keep your stuff organized, and that has kind of forced us to make sure that everything has a place and it always goes back into that place. That has been really great. Similarly, we brought a bag for dirty clothes and laundry. So this little bag goes in the top portion of the bag. It's drawstring, so you close it up when you're traveling, and then all of your laundry is in here for when you're ready to do it. We've done laundry twice in our first month before getting to Naples. And that just made it so everything was organized, and stuff that didn't have a place anymore because it was dirty had a different place to go. Alright, so on to the review of the bag. The compression straps, what we realized is that you can pack a lot more in horizontally and compress it with the straps to make it all fit. So that is a technique that I use more than Carson uses. I put the 2 cubes plus my toiletry kit, and it kind of spews over on the sides. But once you get the compression straps on there and compress it, obviously it condenses it, and the bag goes back to its original form. That being said, we did have some tearing of our bags. Nothing serious. I'll show you a close-up of it, but the outside of the bags are fine. It's just the inside lining has torn just on the inside. That's because we've really been packing the bags, and just because of all of the friction and because of the tension in the zippers. That being said, I'd rather the insides of the bag rip than the outsides of the bag. So yeah, that wasn't the end of the world by any means. The other thing that we've learned about the bags is that when you're packing them up as much as we are, this top pocket kind of becomes irrelevant. Don't plan on fitting a lot of stuff in this top pocket if you're packing the bags full, because as you can kind of see, there isn't like a seam like this that gives it extra volume. So it's literally just a pocket. So when you're trying to pull the zippers closed, here I can do a little demonstration. When you're trying to pull the zippers closed, this zipper separates. So you can't fit anything really like up in this pocket. But what I've been doing is just sliding in papers and stuff that were just laying in the bottom of the bag, so they have a place to go and I don't need to be going in and out of that zipper. But that was a little disappointing because it does take away part of the storage space of your bag because you don't have this second pocket up here. But it's not the end of the world. Other thing about closing the bag that we realized, I actually realized it like an hour before I had to leave for the airport. I hadn't done a trial pack with my laptop in it. Obviously you put the laptop in the laptop sleeve, and when you got it jam-packed, this zipper won't close. So in order to overcome that obstacle without putting a lot of pressure on your laptop pushing down trying to close it, what I do is I close my bag without the laptop in, push on it, do whatever I need to do to get it to close. Once it's closed, I make sure that both of the zippers are in the front. So once you've kind of got it into the shape that you need it to be in, then I crack the zippers open a little bit to here, put the laptop in, close the laptop zipper, and then the backpack is a lot better at holding that shape once most of the pressure on the zippers is closed, especially around these corners, and you can just kind of pull it shut. It is definitely a bit of a process, and obviously if you bring less stuff, it won't be that big of a deal, but that's just what I found that works. The other part of our bag that we kind of modified is this little strap. Like they have on the front, they have these little hooks here, and I'm using mine to carry my collapsible water bottle. The collapsible water bottle was a big addition to the bag. It's really great on travel days, and it comes with this little elastic, so you can just hook it onto the outside here, which is really, really handy. All in all, these bags were a great purchase, and it was a super great experience to be able to fit everything we need for 4 months into one backpack that we just carry around with us on our backs. It's just so freeing to be able to leave one location and have everything that you own on your back and easily accessible. We make fun of people now when we see them in the streets with multiple suitcases. The best is a suitcase with a duffel bag attached to the top of the suitcase as you're rolling it, and a backpack on your back. It's just funny to see people that have so much stuff and struggling along these cobblestone paths in Europe, whereas we have our backpacks that fit into the overhead storage on a plane or on a train. For example, when we were going from Innsbruck to Bologna station, on the train, we couldn't find a spot to sit right away because the train was so packed. Because our bags were so small, we just kind of went into a corner of the train, put our bags down between our legs, and stood there until a seat was available. So that's the kind of luxury you get by carrying a small bag, especially one that fits on your back. Onto things that we brought in our bags that we wish we didn't. I brought a pair of Converse in addition to my running shoes, because I thought I'd want a more casual pair of shoes when I was out in places for an extended period of time, like in Naples, like 2 weeks in the French Riviera, 2 weeks in the UK, a week in Oslo, that sort of thing. I only wore my Converse when we got off the plane in Amsterdam. When we got to our hotel, I changed into them for about 2 hours. They gave me a blister, and I have only worn my running shoes since. I wish I didn't bring the Converse. I thought people would look at me funny if I was only wearing running shoes, especially in like more fashionable towns like in Italy. No one cares what you are wearing on your feet at all. I didn't bring any sandals, so I do wish I brought more of a slip-on shoe like my Birks. The one thing though is that everything I brought with me is something that I would be okay with throwing away, and I don't think I'm okay with throwing away my Birks. So that is the reason why I didn't bring my Birks, because I didn't want to throw them away. I didn't want to have to leave them behind. Whereas I'm very happy to throw away my Converse, and I'm happy to throw away my running shoes if I have to. So that being said, if I could go back in time, I would have gotten myself to bring maybe a plastic pair of Birks like my sister has, or a pair of Crocs would have been nice. Just especially being in Italy, having a pair of waterproof shoes would be nice. That being said though, if you can get away with only one pair of shoes, it really frees up a lot of space in your bag. Shoes take up a lot of room. So if you can get away with one pair, I would highly, highly recommend trying to do so. The other thing that I brought too much of is personal entertainment things. Carson and I are traveling together. Especially in this day and age, we both have our phones and our laptops, and Carson has his e-reader, so we have a lot of stuff to entertain ourselves. I brought a journal, I brought a writing journal, I brought an art journal, and I brought a travel watercolor paint set, because I thought I'd have all of this free time where I'd want to be doing art like that. This may be different if you're traveling and just traveling, but we're traveling and doing school too, as well as vlogging, so it does take up a lot of our free time. And I wish that I didn't bring that stuff, just because I don't want to part with it, because now I've added sentimental value to it. But I just have to carry it around in my bag, and I feel bad when I look at it because I know I don't have time to use it, but I'm still carrying it around and I don't want to let go of it. So limiting what you think you'll need to entertain yourself, especially if you can limit it to an electronic, is very, very beneficial. Carson and I have brought our Switch with us. We've also brought a deck of cards, and those are our go-tos for when we want something fun to do. We're always playing cards, and we're always playing on the Switch. So that sort of thing, really try to think clearly and logically about what you're going to need to entertain yourself. Try to think logically about it rather than optimistically about it. I pictured myself sitting on the beach doing watercolor painting every single day, and that just realistically isn't something that was going to be able to happen in the locations that we were going to. So that is one piece of advice. Another thing that Carson says that he brought that he wished he didn't was multiple pairs of socks, and I agree with this to some extent. Carson brought a bunch of different types of socks. He brought some low cut socks, he brought some high cut socks. I definitely think that socks are something that can be reworn. So if you bring like 4 to 5 pairs of really good quality socks, that would be better than bringing like 2 weeks worth of low quality socks that are going to get holes or that are high cut and are going to take up a lot of room. Like I said, people don't look at you as much as you think they look at you, so no one's going to notice if you're not wearing your favorite high cut socks that have the cool prints on them. You're going to notice it more than anyone because it's taking up space in your bag. So that would be one thing that I would recommend, is if you're going to cut space anywhere, you should cut space on your socks. I would not cut space in your underwear. I think that you should bring 2 weeks worth of underwear because that is not something that can be reworn, and you're definitely going to want to do laundry every 2 weeks because of this. The amount of underwear that you bring sets the date of when you're going to have to do laundry, so I would definitely keep this in mind when you're packing. One thing that I wish we did bring that we didn't bring is some way to freshen your bag. Our clothes started smelling pretty bad after a while, and it wasn't because we weren't doing laundry, it was because everything you own is in one bag and it's zipped up and it just starts to smell bad. So I wish that I brought something to make the clothes smell fresher, maybe like a dryer sheet or those little bags with the scents in it that you can put in there. That would have made us 1,000 times happier, because now, even being in Naples for 3 weeks, our clothes still smell and they've been out of our bags that entire time, and we've done laundry multiple times. So bringing something to make your bag smell better will make you 1,000,000 times happier, I promise you. That being said, I want to end off on that note, because keeping that in mind, we listed a bunch of things that we realized that we brought that we didn't need, and there was only one thing that we didn't bring that we want, and it is not something that we would have a hard time just going out to buy here. So I think that's a really cool thing that we've learned and that I want to share with you, is that it's the leaving part that's difficult. It's the transitioning, it's the figuring out what you need to bring that's difficult. It's the figuring out what you can leave behind that's difficult. But once you're gone, you don't look back. You don't like think about everything that you left behind. You just you're just happy that you have everything in your bag. Carson and I were talking about something else that applies to this, and it's that humans are able to adapt to any situation that they're in within a few weeks. So leaving everything in our house behind was difficult at first, but in a matter of days, we had adapted to live with only the stuff in our bag and not miss it anymore, because humans are very adaptable. We adapt to our different situations, and after a few days, after a few weeks, this is perfectly fine. We're perfectly happy with the stuff that we have now, and we don't wish that we had anything else. So I think that's really cool, and I think it's a really cool experience, which is why Carson and I are so happy that we got to travel with just a carry-on bag, because it's so easy in terms of just the transportation, but it's also such a cool experience to realize that you don't need a bunch of material stuff. Yeah, so I hope you liked this video. I hope that it wasn't too like preachy, and I hope that you learned something and you took away something. And if you have any questions, definitely let us know, and we're happy to answer them. I'll probably do another update at the 2, 3, 4 month mark and let you know what we learned. Yeah, I will link my original packing video down below if you want to see specifically everything that we brought. It's a 40-minute video, so it breaks everything down. I'll also link down below our travel tips video, which go into a little bit more detail on things that we have learned during our traveling. Yeah, and then you'll get our full kind of traveling playlist. I hope you like this video, and I'm glad you guys are liking the vlogs. We have a lot more interesting stuff coming up, so stick around.